Acá. No, no lo ponga todavía.
Todavía. Resume.
Good morning, everyone. Happy early Halloween. We have our not so scary Halloween contest here in the office. And I am here with these two gentlemen from First Origin Mortgage Lenders. I gotta tell you something. If you do a loan with them, they promise to show up at the closing table dressed just like this.
I don't think you want us there like this.
You never know. You might get more clients that way. Okay, so Austin, tell us, what's today's class all about?
All right, so today we're preparing people to buy their homes, whether it's a client or yourself as a real estate agent. We're gonna help you prepare today.
Oh, awesome. So stay tuned and learn all of this. And let's say you didn't make today's class, this video will be placed on YouTube this afternoon. So you can check in. And can you imagine agents checking in and seeing us just like this? Anyway, I'm going to leave the floor to the man of the hour, Mr. Austin Palacios.
Yep.
All righty. I got these glasses on, so it might be a little dark, but we're gonna get it done.
Hey, we forgot to introduce someone.
Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
We got Ellie, our rock star title agent here.
Yes. And he will definitely show up with his outfit at the closing table.
We're waiting for you.
You just have to forewarn the clients. Okay, so I'm not sure which is better, this one or last year.
No, last year, I think with the priest style, it's was really great.
Okay, the priest.
La
Let's talk about
bendiciones.
that, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, ready to go.
Making sure you have a rock star closing. All right, here we go. All right, good morning, everybody. It is October 29th. A little bit a ways away from Halloween, but celebrating here a little early. So setting up your purchase for a home, this is a little table of contents. We got these few sections here. Why setting up buyers is critical. I have them in quotations because setting up is a little weird sometimes, you know, when you set somebody up or something like that. But yes, we're going to set buyers up for their purchase, right? How to set up a buyer, right? We're going to talk about why it's critical and how to actually do it. Then we're going to go into pre-approval, more than just a letter. Okay, so that's important. So first time home buyer basics for you guys to keep in mind, because if you guys are not educated as realtors, you guys are the first line of defense, always. All right, so I want you guys to keep that in mind. And your advice goes a long way with these clients, okay? And lastly, tips to help buyers win and Q&A. All right, so why setting up buyers is so critical in this market. Let me go ahead and move this so that way the logo is showing. Hey, good morning. Good morning.
You know. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, say how y'all doing.
Good.
You didn't start yet?
No,
We're good. This is the
just
first
starting right
slide.
now.
Yeah, you're good. Perfect. Perfect timing.
Yeah. Waiting for me. Thank you.
All right, so in this market, preparation beats panic. Now, what does that mean? Guys, a full pre-approval needs to be done in order to not have surprises later in the process, right? So that means getting all the documents in, not just doing a pre-qualification based off of stated income or anything like that. A full pre-approval, that way I can get you guys the DU, that can tell you more or less what the conditions are going to be in the future, and there's no surprises later in the process, right? All the work is done up front. Okay, so that's probably my most favorite advice I can probably give. All the preparation is done up front, so make sure we get those pre-approvals done, all the documents in, and we tailor the financial goals of your client to meet the outcome of the closing, right? The most successful buyers are not just pre-approved, they're pre-positioned. Like I said, all of the work is done up front. Okay. When I ask for all these documents, the taxes, the business taxes, the pay stubs, the W-2s, the bank statements, people are gonna go, oh my God, it's a lot of documents. Nobody likes to do work, right? That's why we try to make us do all the work and handle all the stress up front. Because as soon as you send us the documents, there should be no worry from your client. Okay. That should be the number one thing you should tell your clients. Oh my God, he asked me for so many documents up front. Well, yeah, because he has to make sure everything's perfect. So that way you don't lose your EMD or you don't lose the house of your dreams, or you just come out upset, right? We keep a 5-star reputation because everything is done up front and we are pre-positioning these clients for success. Okay. Many programs run out of funds quickly or have strict requirements. Okay. A lot of people are trying to do, for example, hometown heroes, right? I don't know how many times I've seen lenders, brokers, whatever you want to call them, go and try to submit these down payment assistance programs, and they do not qualify because they didn't do their homework, they don't know the regulations, and they just didn't put the file together correctly to get approved, right? And in hometown heroes, you only have 30 days from the lock date. So if you pass 30 days, there's no extensions. You lose the hometown heroes money, right? So that's important to keep in mind. Right now, I think there's about like 20 million left to hometown heroes. There's still plenty to go.
You have only the 10 days for 20 years.
30 días desde el día que nosotros bloqueamos el interés. So nosotros podemos mandar todo al underwriting y empezar el proceso y, demorar 2 semanas y coger todas las condiciones, casi estamos listos para el cierre. Y después de eso, nosotros podemos bloquear el interés. Y entonces, ese día empiezan los 30 días de Hometown Heroes. So, eso es muy, muy importante.
Viene siendo 45 days.
Yes, yeah. So, en total debe ser 45 días, pero nosotros podemos hacerlo en 30 días,
Sí.
Dependiente del caso, porque yo hice 2 ya en este mes y yo tenía clear to close en 2 o 3 semanas en cada uno. So, yeah, pretty fast. Pero a veces, yeah, hometown heroes isn't that hard to do. Last year I did like 10. It was insane. But el año pasado regulaciones estaban un poquito diferentes. Cada persona podía hacerlo, no tenía que tener una profesión específico para calificar por ese programa. Okay. Ya, ahora es diferente. Y entonces, y el año pasado había 100 millones de fondos. Y este año es 50 millones. So, la mitad. Y en este tiempo están demorando 2 o 3 meses para sacar los fondos, porque todavía tenemos 20 millones por ahí. So, eso va a demorar un par de meses más. El año pasado solamente fue 1 mes y medio y se acabaron los 100,000. Yeah. No, it was crazy. Everybody who was breathing, they got into that program. So helping your buyers organize their finances makes the transactions much smoother. Okay. And that's where we're going back to the preposition, right? You as realtors, you guys don't really handle the finances too well, but if you guys are have a little bit of education on that stuff with the taxes, hey, make sure your taxes are good because ustedes van a necesitar esos impuestos para calificar por el propiedad, right? Porque un préstamo normal como FHA o convencional, esos programas necesitan los impuestos. Nosotros tenemos otros programas, pero necesitan más pago inicial, entrar, lo que sea. So, y también un puntaje de crédito más alto. Okay. And what I was going to, your advice shapes their journey. Guys, you guys are the first line. When they talk to somebody, whether you have a listing or open house or a lead, they talk to you guys first. Your advice is everything to those buyers because whether they go and shop around for different lenders, guess who's the realtor? You guys, right? So your advice, your knowledge is going to shape them and make the transaction that much better. So how to set up a buyer. Okay. Assess budget versus wish list. I'm sure ustedes tienen clientes que quieren un casa de 700,000 y ellos quieren un pago mensual de 3,000. Eso no sirve, right? You know, es que ahora mismo los intereses se están mejorando poco a poco, pero los property taxes son demasiado altos y los de seguro son demasiado altos también. A veces yo veo los taxes de estas propiedades que son en 500 y están en like 10,000 al año, 12,000, you know. Right. So, es una locura y you know, se va a hacer muy difícil cogiendo algo así. So, nosotros tenemos que mirar el budget entero para ver, you know, okay, si tú quieres algo por 3,000 pagos mensual, tenemos que mirar algo en este rango de precio. You know, entonces nosotros podemos hacer un wish list que ellos quieren en ese rango de precio, you know. So I think that's very important. Transparency is key, right? Because if you're telling them, oh yeah, we'll get you something 700,000, 3,000 monthly payment, bro, we're gonna look bad, both of us, and he's gonna be upset. You know what I mean? So that is not the way to go. Make sure you're transparent as possible, and you're like, hey, like, you know, that range, you know, you're probably looking at a little less than 500,000. You're probably be in the 450 range. They're probably not gonna be super happy with that response, but it's a real response, and you got to let them know what it really is, right? Refer for pre-approval early, guys. Tú no quieres gastar su tiempo enseñando casas y propiedades a esta gente si ellos no califiquen para esa propiedad, right? Gastando sus millas, su dinero, su tiempo. Yeah, bro, no, gasolina es caro. You know what I mean? That's not good. That's not good. So yeah, bro, you have to make sure they're pre-approved. Do not waste your time with people who are not pre-approved. Now, entonces, vamos a mirar el otro lado del coin. That's the expression in English. So you can have them pre-qualified based off of stated income and maybe a credit pool. You know, so more or less, oh, okay, you know, they'll probably qualify para este rango. Entonces, así nosotros podemos ver unas propiedades porque a veces los clientes quieren ver algo para ser like motivado para comprar. You know, so yeah, I think at least por lo menos una conversación con un lender para ver, you know, en aproximado por dónde.
Para ese medio aproximado, ¿qué papeles necesitarías? Pues me ha pasado precisamente
Yeah.
con los clientes, like, no, todavía no quiero leer hasta que vea la casa que sí quiero, y,
Yeah.
porque no quiero que me corran el crédito todo,
Claro.
como que no.
Bueno,
So what, like, at least the minimum documents that I can ask?
por lo menos, yo creo que impuestos o un pay stub o 2 pay stubs, por lo menos, y no voy a chequear crédito. Solamente yo voy a preguntar sobre los puntajes de crédito estimado y yo voy a hacer mis calculaciones y ya. Y esa persona es precalificado. No tienen un preaprobación, pero, you know, más o menos está ahí.
Idea de cómo va.
Yeah.
No
Sí,
todo.
porque es verdad, a mí me ha pasado también los clientes a veces que no, de todas las maneras que tú les explicas y ellos quieren primero ver y no, yo califico, yo sé que yo califico, ahora mismo
Yeah.
me estaba pasando.
Man, es que tú vas a Wells Fargo, you go to Wells Fargo, y ellos te dan un pre-qualification letter. Porque tú le dices, oh, yo gano 100,000 al año, yo tengo un puntaje de crédito de 800, estoy bien. You make 100,000, 800 credit score, you're good. No worries. Here's a pre-qualification letter. And then you go, you submit the loan, they deny the loan. And you're like, okay, I had a pre-qualification. Well, you weren't fully pre-approved. They didn't do the due diligence. No había diligencia, mirando a todos los documentos y todo eso junto. So it's very important. Okay. Un preaprobación nosotros at First Origin somos lo mejor en planeando a comprar, right? So nosotros podemos preparar crédito, ayudar a structure los ingresos y todo eso para enseñar al cliente cómo nosotros podemos calificar por X propiedades, para qué rango, lo que sea. So nosotros podemos hacer eso. Y también, nosotros queremos enseñar al cliente cómo pensar en este negocio también. Porque, one of my favorite things to show people, let's say a person makes 100,000, right? And I'm gonna show you guys on my calculator. This is gonna look backwards, I think, on the screen there. But a person makes 100,000
A year?
yeah, 100,000 a year, right? So front end DTI, you guys know what DTI is?
Maybe.
So DTI is debt to income, right? You got it. And all it is that we're checking their income compared to the monthly payment on the front end, right?
Money payment
So
date, that's
you
what
go
I-
100,000 times 45%. That is usually the max for the front, right? On average,
For the payment itself.
right? So you're looking at 45,000, and then you divide that by 12. That is more or less going to be their max monthly payment
Oh, you talk about a mortgage?
on a mortgage based on their income alone. So you guys could do this
Really?
wherever you're at.
Let me do-
If somebody tells you, "Oh, I make 50,000,"
I was just gonna do that, so.
I make 50,000. You do the
Mhm.
same thing times 45%.
Wait, okay.
Divided by 12. And that's going to be more or less their max monthly payment.
Yeah.
That is pretty accurate, guys.
Really?
I swear.
But what is that dependent on? Because
It's based on their income because the front end DTI is only based on income to the monthly payment. The back end is where because there's usually two separate DTI calculations, right? You have the one in the front, which is income to the monthly payment. And then the back one is income to all debts. Okay. So that's very important. And it's pretty easy to pre-qualify somebody just based off of that. Like, oh, you can afford 1,875. That's like a condo in like 200,000, 150,000 with like $300 association.
So the first number that you showed, the 3,750, that's the debt.
Yeah, so that's the 100,000. So if he makes 100,000
year.
times 45
% dividing 12.
divided by 12, and that's it. That's your max monthly payment on the front end.
Mhm.
But not the mortgage.
So
That's the
that's
mortgage.
that's the
max
mortgage.
monthly
is
mortgage
that-
payment.
There's mortgage plus other things,
Well,
so like.
well,
That would
Yes.
be everything. That would be the max. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, that's with PMI included in us.
Yeah, my-
Everything as
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's mortgage, taxes, insurance, association, and
Everything.
anything for the monthly expenses of the property only.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's cool to share with your clients. Like, oh my God, I didn't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that.
So.
Honestly, I do,
They make,
I go a little bit more conservative. I do a
Hold on,
40% calculation.
hold on one second.
Yes.
Only because buyers are liars. So they tell you that they make 100,000,
45%.
and then when you look at their pay stubs, they only make 70 or 80,000. So I
Not
like
to
to
make
Because-
your job.
myself-
No, because that's the maximum on paper that the governments will allow, like the FHA and conventional, and most products,
Yeah.
unless it's VA
Now-
or something like that.
Income
It's a basic
100,000,
question.
multiplied
But
by
is it in the
45%,
gross
then-
or net?
Divided by 12.
Because then you
But
can
that's
make
how much the
100,000, but
monthly-
then you
Yeah.
receive 70,000.
That's based on their
The-
income. That's their
So if
max
you are a
monthly payment.
W2 employee, it is the gross. If you are a self-employed individual,
So
it
let
is
me
the
ask
net.
you something, by 12.
So, ¿entiendes eso? So,
Sí,
si
sí,
trabaja por otra compañía,
So let me ask you something,
W2,
so why?
eh,
A lot of the time, they
trabajador
can-
regular, wager,
That's
es
like
basado
putting
en el
houses
bruto,
way
el gross.
Than what they supposed to
Si
get.
trabaja por tu cuenta, tienes
Yeah.
tu
They
propia
make
empresa,
$50,000
es el
but
neto.
They may have to pay $3,000 a month.
Lo que se queda neto ya
Yeah, they're not gonna qualify.
Después de todos los gastos, sí.
Because the max
So-
payment is gonna be 1,800.
Sí,
So
They
maybe
have a lot of money to put down.
So
Sí,
that's
porque,
what will
porque
bring
hay
it
muchas
down,
personas que son,
and then get them to that
si trabajas
1,800 area.
Uber, whatever, trabaja por tu cuenta. Entonces es el
And
neto.
what is that called?
Yeah.
Like what?
That's just the
No son
DTI. That's
prácticas,
income.
ser así igual. En caso que fuera para comprar.
Al final de un millón.
But yeah, it's a good one. I use that all the time. I get people on the phone. You guys send me leads, and I tell them like, hey, look, I'm gonna do your yearly income times 45 divided by 12. and it works. And they're like, oh, so like now you got them thinking.
La fórmula.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a way that I can at least see myself.
yeah. You can.
Definitely.
So start paperwork early. We already talked about that, and set expectations on timeframes. Okay. Try not to say to the buyer, "Hey, we're gonna close in 20 days when we get the loan commitment." Try not to do that. Let's try to do 30 days. And if I can close before that, fantastic. But some files are harder than others. I've closed files in 2 weeks, a little under 2 weeks, but the average file is 30 days, right? So let's just keep that in mind. Because if you get the buyer too excited, they start buying the furniture, they start moving out, and then they gotta be in a hotel. Like, no, we can't do that either, right? So we gotta make sure everything lines up perfectly.
And no buying furniture or cars
Yes, no, do not do that.
until at least a day or two after closing.
Yeah, because they do the credit checks like the day of closing. So
And
if
keep
they
that job,
if they
too.
come up with a debt, the deal is done. Sometimes.
And keep that job too.
Yeah, and keep the
'Cause I went
job.
to where
Yeah, because
the
I've
client, he just lost his job and was able to close.
yeah, I've seen a couple of those. People lose their job like a couple days before closing. All right, so we kind of talked about this already. Ya hablamos sobre esto, ya, un poquito. So pre-approval is more than just a letter. A true pre-approval means that the lender already reviewed income, assets, and credit. Okay, eso es importante, porque en un pre-calificación solamente es mirando bueno, hablando sobre los ingresos y probablemente mirando su crédito si ellos dejan a nosotros hacer eso. Y así mismo nosotros podemos decirte, ok, estimadamente ellos pueden hacer este rango de precio. Pero un preaprobación es todo junto, todo es oficial. Nosotros podemos mirar los ingresos reales, el crédito real y todos los deudas del cliente. So all we're doing for a pre-qualification, like I said, we're going off of stated income. We're going off of a credit pool if they let us do it. And that's basically it. And we're just giving you an estimated. But a pre-approval, when I send you guys a letter, that means these guys are good on the income. They're good on their money in their bank or whatever, a gift or whatever they're gonna do, and their credit and debts. Okay, so that's very, very important. Okay, a pre-approval gives your buyer negotiating power and avoids surprises mid-transaction. Okay, I can't tell you guys how many, like the Wells Fargo example. I mean, it's happened to Wells Fargo already to me 3 times with other people, and then they come to me and I fix it, and then they close. But they give you the pre-qualification, they enter in contract, the listing agent takes the pre-qualification letter, they go into contract and gets denied, and then they get the surprise mid-transaction, and they're like, "Oh, I thought I was good," but no, it's like they're not good. So that's it's tough sometimes, man, to hear that. And especially if the bank tends to wait until like the day before financing contingency or like the day after, they can lose their EMD, which is huge. Sometimes it's 5,000, sometimes it can be 15,000, We don't want to lose any money, period. But still, like that's huge, man. We can't have that happen. So that's why it's important. I will never submit a loan until I know these guys are pre-approved. I'm like, yo, hold on a second, let's back up. You're gonna put an offer, let's pre-approve them before the day before you put the offer, the day of, like, because if not, you're gonna go into inspections, you're gonna pay a couple $100, and then you're just gonna have to back out. Like, doesn't make sense either, right? So, like we said, pre-qualification is based off of stated income, and I want to talk about this too. So, there's different stages, right? You have the pre-qualification, you have a pre-approval, you have a conditional approval, and then you have the official clear to close approval, right? Conditional approval is the third one. Once you submit a loan, cuando sometimos el préstamo al underwriting, y nosotros cogemos condiciones, which can be a letter of explanation for a credit pool, or hey, give me a more recent bank statement, or can you source where the earnest money deposit came from? Stuff like that que son easy para hacer y ensayar al underwriter que nosotros estamos bien. Eso es aprobación condicional. So always prepare for a conditional approval after you submit a file. So ya estamos en contrato, ya hicimos aprobación y sometimos el préstamo al underwriting y nosotros cogemos un aprobación condicional. Si nosotros hacemos el preaprobación muy bien y tenemos el file entero casi, las condiciones van a ser mínimo, like 5 a 6. A veces, sometimes, there's a lot of conditions. Sometimes if the person amended their taxes, for example, they will ask for profit and loss. They will ask for a accountant letters. They'll ask for like 3 of them saying, hey, like, why is it getting amended? What was the reason? And did you just do this to buy the house? Obviously you say no. We did this because I made more money than what the accountant saw.
Yeah.
So we did that way. Right. So it's important to have a lender that does all the work up front. Therefore, we don't have to do much during the actual process. Right. First time homebuyer basics. This is something. Esto es algo que todos los realtors deben notar. Okay. Everybody should know this. Most first time homebuyers think they need 20% down. That's a myth. I probably get that question probably like 20 times a year, at least. And that's 20 people is a lot of people that, come to me randomly, not even from a realtor or a lead or wherever it's from. They'll come to me, they'll DM me on Instagram. Hey, what can I do? I have to do 20% down? Is there something else? I saw a video. I was like, bro, you never have to do 20% down. That's not a thing. Yeah, so FHA, tú puedes hacer 3.5% de entrada con un puntaje de crédito de 580, right?
Pero el conventional
Yeah, so-
normalmente no es
Yeah, so normalmente, si ya tienes una propiedad, tú puedes hacerlo con 5% de pago inicial o entrada, pero si eres un comprador por la primera vez, tú puedes hacer 3% de entrada. Y bastante de personas no saben eso.
No, yo no lo sabía. Ahora,
Yeah.
para mí, conventional es 20%.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, bro.
Ahora mismo.
Yeah. So, normalmente convencional es 5%, pero si eres comprador por la primera vez, te puede hacer 3%. Sí, y es menos de FHA. Y entonces, so I want to give you guys some advice too. If these guys have a really good credit score, sometimes the mortgage insurance is less than FHA. El seguro de hipoteca debe estar menos de FHA si ellos tienen un puntaje de crédito alto. So, entonces, no vale la pena hacer un FHA, vale la pena hacer convencional. Y entonces, tienes que saber también, tú puedes hacer un convencional por 3% de pago inicial en su primer casa y después de eso, tú puedes hacer FHA por 3.5 después. Right? Pero tú no puedes hacer 2 préstamos de 2 FHA. Right? So if you have a person that's house hacking, try to get them to do the conventional one first, and then they do the FHA one after. Because you can't do 3% down conventional twice, and you can't do FHA twice. And conventional 3% down, you can only do it if you're a first-time home buyer. If not, you would have to do 5%.
Okay.
So you would save them 1.5% of money, which is that's money. That's a lot of money. Yeah, that's very, very important. And listen, if you guys do marketing, not a lot of people know that. If you put that out there, they're gonna be like, "What?
For sure.
You can do that? Oh my
Estoy seguro que
God!"
mucha gente no sabe
They
eso.
don't know that. They don't know that, and that's why I try to do my little videos and stuff and post them.
Pero hace rato no haces.
Yeah. Well, no, a week, 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. My editor is out of town, so. And then lastly, you guys have to know, not everybody qualifies for down payment assistance. Porque casi todo el mundo, todos los programas están basados de los ingresos. So aquí en el sur de Florida, todo es basado en AMI. Eso significa el average del ingresos en esa área. So el average a veces, dependiente del county y todo eso, debe ser 80,000, 70,000, pero nosotros sabemos, nosotros tenemos que ganar casi 100 120,000 para calificar por algo en los 500 ahora mismo, porque los impuestos y los seguros están demasiado altos. Right? So, las personas que pueden calificar por algo más grande no pueden coger down payment assistance a veces. Pero hay diferentes programas, claro. So, nosotros tenemos algo para los doctores, los lawyers o CPAs que ellos pueden hacer 100% de financiamiento. Right? So, like stuff like that, when there's like a job, algo específico, nosotros podemos encontrar algo, para eso. Pero generally, it's pretty hard for somebody to qualify for a $500,000 house and get down payment assistance. It's very, very hard and it's very rare. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. Obviously, for like the smaller homes, like a townhouse or a condo, I would say they have a good shot to do that. Also, if you go up north or west, even where the purchase prices are a lot smaller, that's when you'll probably be able to qualify for down payment assistance for a single family home. You know, so that's important to note as well. It's just South Florida, you don't see it too often because the prices are so high and it's hurting them, right? So down payment assistance is not gonna work. Also, if they have 20% down and they have reserves, they should not be doing down payment assistance. Right? Because the problem with down payment assistance no es dinero gratis. Tiene que pagarlo para atrás en algún momento en el futuro. Si es un refinanciamiento o si lo vendes en propiedad, tiene que pagar todo para atrás. Con Hometown Heroes, that's a big thing with Hometown Heroes. People don't understand. And it's not the most amazing product because down payment assistance also comes with higher interest rates most of the time. So you get up to 35,000 from Hometown Heroes. Okay, fantastic. You didn't pay your down payment and you didn't pay a lot of your closing costs. Wow, I only paid $5,000. Wow, in that moment, you're amazing. Interest rates go down in a year. You're like, oh, I want to refinance. You don't have enough equity to pay off the 35,000 and do the refinance. So now you're not going to get that good interest rate. Now you have to wait. You know, so that's something to take into account too. If you have the money, use it. Because if not, you're not going to have any equity. You're not going to have real equity. You're going to basically have a loan for 100%. So that's an important thing to look at. And also the monthly payment might be higher. So that's why, you know, when people say down payment assistance, I was like, you sure you don't have the money? If you don't have the money, okay, fine, we'll do it. Like, we need to get the home and we'll get it done.
No, we don't have to move for the down payment, but they don't see the whole picture.
Yeah. And that's why it's our job to let them know, like, hey, like, you know, if you have the money, it would be better because your situation in the future would be a lot better off. You'll have more equity. You can take money out, invest it in something else, do whatever you need to do. But when you're in the hole, 35,000, you're not gonna have that money to invest in anything, you know. And not to say they're not amazing programs, they do help a lot of people, but in the long run, it's not the most amazing. Okay, tips to help buyers win. Okay, avoid heartbreak by confirming eligibility early. I don't know how many times I see realtors show properties to people that they don't qualify for. They fall in love with the home and they can't buy the home. So then they're mad at who? They're mad at the realtor and they're mad at the lender. And then they're like, oh, and then you lose a client sometimes because I don't want to buy, I can't qualify for it right now. But it's important to empezar el proceso de planear para la compra antes para saber cómo nosotros podemos calificar por esa propiedad en el futuro. Right? Si nosotros no podemos calificar hoy, nosotros podemos calificar en un año o 6 meses, 3 meses, lo que sea, dependiente del escenario. You know, depending on the scenario, we're going to be able to plan to make them qualify in the future for whatever it may be. Right? Make sure your client is trusting of you and transparent. So that is key. In the real estate industry, business is won through relationships. If the client trusts you, you will win that client 100% of the time, right? They don't want somebody who's like a sharky person that's working for them. Like, nobody trusts a shark. You know, you want somebody that's more easy to talk to, relatable. People want to work with people they relate with. Okay, so keep that in mind and just be transparent and upfront. Give them information. Sometimes you want to not give them too much information because then it might scare them or something like that. But always try to be as transparent as possible and and make sure you're looking out for the client, right? Focus on total monthly cost, not the rate. What I mean by this is taxes and insurance, I keep going back to that, are super high right now. So sometimes es mejor para comprar algo que tiene los impuestos más bajitos para tener los gastos o asociación más bajito para tener el pago mensual más bajo. Porque, nosotros estamos mirando un interés de 6%, right? We have 6% and they have 6%. But the fees and stuff like that are a little different, let's say. But the total monthly cost is the most important thing because we're going to help get cheaper insurance. We're going to help fight for cheaper taxes if need be, right? And we're going to help them get the homestead exemption and stuff like that and help them we're going to be transparent and we're going to be looking out for the best interest of the buyer, right? Remember, timing is everything, okay? Los fondos de estos programas de asistencia se acaban en cada mes. It happened to me on a client with Miami-Dade. It was the HAP program. So they have this program that you get up to 28,000 if you're in the 120% of AMI. So un average de 120% del área de los ingresos. Ellos pueden calificar por lo menos 14,000. Right? If you're in the 80%, si estás en el 80%, ellos pueden coger 28,000, right? So we submitted it and they denied it. They took away the 14,000 because they said they were running out of money. And they don't give notices of that stuff. They don't send newsletters like, hey, this is ending this date. No, some days it just runs out and that's it. And we were in the middle of the process. They were approved and they just took it away. They said, no, we can't do it anymore. We ran out of money. Okay, fine. So we took it upon ourselves to give credits out of our pocket and make sure we gave them we gave them the 14,000 in credits, and they ended up a little bit more than what they would have with the down payment assistance program, but they were super happy. He actually just sent me their bathroom redone because he was trying to save para reparar el baño entero because the bathroom was all banged up. It was terrible. But he did it and he actually redid his whole room too. So it's all like white and modern. It looks beautiful. So leverage us as your mortgage partner. All right. Guys, ask me questions. Call me on the weekend, holidays, send me texts. I'll be sure to help you out. Flyers, whatever it need be. You guys want to do like a social media video, I'll help out with that too. So we make it happen. Okay. So leverage us as the mortgage partner to help you and your buyers win at all times. And then why partner with us? You guys already know we're down the street, affiliate of the year, 5-star service, all that good stuff. And questions? Let me see the chat here if there's any questions. It's too low. No, it's not too low. It was too low though before. All right.
Well, not a question, but I am thankful that you showed me that little trick. Like now I can understand.
Yeah.
I could just, okay. Just because sometimes they do be asking me that, and I don't want to have to call you all the time.
Yeah.
Like, not nothing against you, because you may be busy. I may be
Nah, of
busy,
course,
but
yeah.
now the fact that I can actually just do it.
It makes your life a lot easier. You're like, oh, 3,800.
Okay.
It's probably around here.
Yeah.
And there's like mortgage calculators on your phone too that you can play around with also. But sometimes it's a little harder to find like the taxes on these properties.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta look at the trim, the new taxes, whatever it may be, and I'll give you the more accurate estimate. But you can always just look up a calculator and try to do it on your own and like, hey, like this estimated, I'm not a lender. This is estimated what it would probably be. And that would be it, So that's important.
Yes.
A conventional loan can be for the second or third home.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, so they can have 2 properties with, let's say, FHA and conventional, and then if they want to buy another primary, they can do another primary.
My sister-in-law, they live in New Jersey, and they have 2 properties in New Jersey, but
Okay.
they're looking to buy something here.
For investment or it's like second home type of thing?
Like a second home kind of a thing when they
Okay.
come here.
Yeah, conventional allows you to do that.
Conventional with 5%.
Yeah. Oh, no. On a second
Minimum
home?
10.
Yeah. 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
So
second.
they literally told me, can we do conventional with 5%? And let me find out.
If
Yeah, it's
you
minimum 10.
If you do it as a primary, you can do it with 5. But they would have to like move down and stuff like that, and that gets a little difficult.
So it can be a conventional with 10.
Yeah.
And would that be like any penalty for renting the house or something?
Nothing.
That would
No,
be-
because it's a second home. It's you're saying that it's not your primary residence, so you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing would be qualifying for the second home, because obviously we can't use rental income on that property. It's a second home. So we would have to, she would have to qualify for her primary residence in New York or New Jersey and that home at the same time with no rental income in either. So if she does need rental income, then at that point it's an investment property and it's 20% down minimum.
Well, conventional, you in DSCR now we have 15.
Yeah, you can do 15, but the rates are a little bit higher. I mean, you know,
Correct.
but we normally, you know, for investment properties, you want to do 20%. That way the interest rate is a little prettier. But if she does qualify as a second home, she qualifies for the payment added, then it's only 10% down.
Hey, have I met you before?
I don't think so.
You part of the office?
I'm his assistant.
No, he's not. He's the CEO for sure.
Stop, right? No, no, you know a lot.
He's this guy.
He is the.
Wait. There you go.
Real deal.
Mr. CEO up there.
Oh, you schooling me, selling me some stuff I don't know.
The one thing I would say is 100% of the time when you are pre-approving or when we are pre-approving something or someone, I mean, it's always good for you guys to support the fact that we need to pull credit. We should always pull credit because a lot of times we'll have realtors, oh, he makes 200,000, he's going to qualify. And then, you know, yeah, he might qualify with numbers, but he might, you know, I had this come up last week where it was she was a VP at a bank, co-signed on a student loan, you know, because obviously your kids go to school or whatever. The daughter missed a payment and she was a 590 credit score.
Wow.
And then we sent out a pre-approval letter. She got into contract, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but you know, now we're pulling credit. You don't qualify. Yeah. So
Yeah, so try to allow us to do the credit.
yeah, because we don't want to waste your time either.
I don't want you to waste your time either.
Yeah. But you guys are the ones driving around showing properties and stuff like that. It's, you know, it gets a little tedious, but
Yeah.
so we should always and we can do a hard pull or a soft pull. So if they want to do a soft pull, we can do a soft pull. Although at some point before you start, we have to do a hard pull. The soft pull will give us the at least the credit scores and stuff like that, but we cannot run a DU or you know, through the Fannie Mae system without the actual hard pull.
Wow.
So
Okay.
so just FYI.
And if you run the hard pull, for how long that works? For 30 months?
4 months, 100.
4 months?
Yeah, well, technically you should buy a house within 3 months, and then that 4th month for underwriting. But before it has to be 4 months until closing date.
Okay.
Entonces, si presta por 4 meses, cuando te corren el crédito también.
Sí, so no te lo corremos después. Yeah. So they can spend 2 months looking for a house, and we're using the same credit from 2 months ago.
Okay, good. Keep pulling and keep
Yeah.
pulling.
No, we don't like to keep pulling it off. Now, if it's taking them a long time, let's say we pull a credit score, you know, this happens to us all the time, and it's a 640. And then they're taking a little bit long in finding a house. At the same time, we're going to give them a report that tells them how they can raise their credit score too.
Yeah.
And all that stuff is free. All these credit repair, you know, it's the same system as the credit repair companies. So we'll let them know, hey, listen, bring down this debt and or get yourself off this authorized user account, and then you'll get to a 680. And then if in 2 months, by the time they find their house, they, you know, we do what we call a refresh, a credit refresh, and it's a 680, then we go based off the 680.
Okay, that's
So,
good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And that's it.
Yes, thank you for this information.
But we are always here for any questions,
You guys had a-
with or without costumes.
Yeah, you look different without the wig. I was hoping to put it on. Mhm.
I know you guys are amazing.
Okay, that's
¿Y el
it.
perrito
for-
te lo trajiste?
Oh, no.
Nah, he's a
Not
mess.
today?
No,
Daddy?
not today.
Not today.
Yeah, you stop this? All right.
No, I can stop it now though.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Stop share.
Does anybody online have any questions? Bárbara? No questions? ¿No tiene pregunta?
Oh, I think they're busy or they're muted.
Hmm.
Well, it's all good. People usually ask me questions after the fact when they watch it on YouTube.
You just close that and then-
This is what you're supposed to do, right? You were seeing.